Jason was at the owners' meeting. Where was the owners' meeting? I don't even remember.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Nice weather out there.
Yeah, it was about 90. And
the dry heat is really a thing. It is.
It was great to be in. It didn't feel that hot. Maybe I'm a little high. Because,
no, you're right. Whenever I've been out there, it always feels, especially in the shade.
Yeah,
because there's no humidity.
It wasn't like it was a very comfortable warm. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, it's so hot.
Right.
It was great. The weather was great. Not that we were outside all that much.
Right.
But
sure.
the big fancy dinner on Monday night was outside.
Yeah.
But it was. I rode my first Waymo. That was awesome. I posted
Your first what?
Waymo. That's the driverless car.
Ubers.
Self-driving car.
Oh, really?
It's so wild to be sitting in the passenger seat and there's no one in the driver's seat.
You were in the passenger seat?
Yes. And
that's got to be so bizarre.
It was
nervous.
Nah. What's gonna happen?
It was fine.
I mean, the car is only going 35 miles an hour. We're gonna.
How far did you go in that?
About 8 miles, 8 miles to the.
That's
nuts.
Crazy. I'd be like nervous getting.
I can't get myself.
I'll show you the video after.
Oh, okay.
You tweeted it. It's one of your very few tweets.
I was actually on Twitter and tweeted it.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're coming up in the world.
Coming up. Welcome to 2011 with Twitter.
So what'd you learn out there, Jason?
Yeah.
It was a great trip, and spent a lot of time with a lot of different teams and everything. So a couple takeaways. One, the 5-year out draft pick thing, that is going to pass next year. And I think, from all indications, there was more support for that, because I thought it was a terrible idea. In the Browns being the team that brought it up, I think is outrageous. But they needed sort of a canary in the coal mine, and the Browns were willing to be that. I think it will pass, maybe with a couple modifications, like maybe 4 picks over 5 years or something like that. But I do think that there is more support than what they let on this year. They'll build more support next year, and I think that will probably pass.
I mean, how often is that actually going to happen?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, look how catastrophic it was for the Browns with Deshaun.
Right.
Like, if it happens once and it's a catastrophe.
It happened.
But I don't like restrictions on trading draft picks at all.
But it's
personally,
it's restrictions. It's sort of like salary caps. It's to save owners from themselves. It's really a restrictor plate or a governor on a car or whatever to save because like and my argument is NFL GMs don't even last 5 years at their job on average.
Right.
So you're dipping into the next guy's stash.
I mean, in the NBA, you're trading 10 years? Down
7, but the difference
I know it's every other year.
Yeah, that's a big difference. That's a really big difference. So I do think that will pass. In terms of the Browns specifically, I was like, I get so tired of talking quarterbacks. I know we got to do it, and I've always been sort of like careful.
Yeah.
Because all this Deshaun thing seemed insane to me, and this was the first time being in Arizona. I'm like, oh, they're serious.
Yeah.
Like they're serious about this, and because I didn't know if it was like. You don't want to hand it to Shador, and you don't want him to feel like he doesn't have any confidence. So I just thought, like, maybe it's just a sort of motivation for him. Posturing motivation to make sure that he stays on task and he's putting in the work in the offseason. He's motivated so that he doesn't think anyone's just handing him the job. That's kind of what was in the back of my mind. And when I was out there, I was like, oh, no, they mean this. Like, Deshaun very well could be the starting quarterback. Now, I do think it will be Monken's call. I think he'll have final say, and I don't think that to this point, I don't think he's been pressured to go one way or the other. It's April 2nd.
Right.
We'll see. But there very much is a faction within the Browns, I think, that would like to see Deshaun one more time. I don't agree with it. I've told you guys from the start, if you're making me pick between Shador and Deshaun, I will take Shador every time. I don't see the upside in playing Deshaun.
See, I said this Tuesday, Jason. Do I think Deshaun can turn his career around? I don't.
I don't either.
But I don't. What is the harm ultimately if he, for whatever reason, shocks us all and looks anywhere close to the player that he was? Again, I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
But if it does, I'd play him.
Okay, and that happens. You sign him another contract?
If he played great this year,
yes.
I'm with you. I'm with both.
You guys have
I'm with Jason.
lost
You guys are both
Jason,
your
here's the thing.
minds.
You're saying it's easy to say we've lost our. If you ask me if that's going to happen, I'm going to tell you there's no chance.
What would he have to do for you to entertain the idea
he would
of
have
signing
to
him to
play
another
like an
deal?
all-pro?
If he goes out and throws for 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions again.
Okay, now
That's what I'm saying, play like an all-pro.
Now, what do you think is more likely to happen?
Yeah.
That?
Almost no chance.
That, or Shedeur shows you enough to want to keep going down that path? What is more likely?
Probably Shedeur.
Probably Shedeur.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I've been harder on Shedeur than anybody.
Yeah.
That's how low I am on Deshaun.
I hear you.
Like, we're talking,
but
it's insane.
What is the if he's here anyway, what is the downside in at least mini camp and early training camp to seeing if that's possible?
Because remember the whole saying about there's a reason why your dashboard is that wide. Let me get the right camera. Why your dashboard is this wide and why your rearview mirror is that small. At some point, you got to stop looking behind you and you got to start looking in front of you.
With a new coach, I think it's worth taking a look. And I think, by the way, that by the end of mini camps, you will know if that's even a possibility.
I agree with that.
And if it's not, then full bore ahead with Shedeur.
I don't see any upside in none. I see no upside in playing Deshaun.
I see
none. Zero.
I think it's a slim potential upside.
It's
very slim.
It's a new coach, an entire new offensive regime. I think he's going to go into the situation and say, which one of these guys, everyone's starting at the exact same point, which one of these guys can win me more football games in my first year.
That's all he cares about.
That's all he cares about.
The last time Deshaun was good, we were wearing masks and social distancing.
I agree that the likelihood is
Nobody's arguing there's a good chance of it.
But yet, so why are we wasting time? Like, play the odds. My whole thing is always play the odds. Play the odds.
Right.
What has greater odds? This Deshaun miracle that you guys think is maybe 1 in a million?
Yeah.
Or that you see
but how
some sort of
one stopping at least in mini camps?
Because one is at the end of his contract and one is not.
No. But how does seeing if you got something still in Deshaun stop you from developing Shedeur?
Because you've got another draft coming 12 months away where the vast majority believe that that's where your quarterback actually lies.
But I'm not even saying that. That is only a factor.
Time is ticking.
That's only a factor if you're actually start Deshaun week 1. I'm not saying that's going to happen. In fact, I don't think so. I think probably Shedeur is going to be the quarterback.
I mean, I guess we need to define what are you saying take a look at? I'm
saying take a look at him in mini camp.
Okay, fine.
Maybe the beginning of training camp.
But
if you don't see...
But the only way Deshaun plays, for me, the only way I'm entertaining is if Shedeur is an absolute disaster. If it's close, you have to play Shedeur.
That I agree with.
There is no sense in playing Deshaun. There is no upside to this.
The only way I would play Deshaun, if I'm Todd Monken, and I'm going to trust him, he knows offense, is if he somehow believes that after seeing him in minicamp or whatever, that he's back. Now, again, I would say there's like a less than 1% chance that's the case. But if somehow he sees it. But you're right. If they look similar,
then you know
I'm 100% playing
Then you know what? If you think there's something there, play him in the preseason. See if you can trade him and get a fifth for him. Deshaun. There is no logical reason to play Deshaun. This is a team that is not going to win, that is not very good, that is not going anywhere. It is a sunk cost. And there are some really smart people in this industry who I agree with 99% of the time that I vehemently agree with on this one. That, like, you've invested so much already, just give it one more shot. I'm like, why? Yeah. Why? Unless you're going to sign him to an extension to me, that is, given what you've just gone through, that is totally crazy.
If you're Monken, though, and you believe, and once again, I think the likelihood is tiny, and it probably will be Shedeur. I fully acknowledge that. But if you're Todd Monken and you see these guys on a day in, day out basis once minicamp starts, and you think Deshaun gives you a better chance to win, and this is your one chance to be a head coach, and you're 60 years old, and you're taking over a Browns franchise and a dysfunctional offense,
I hear you.
Why would you not
He
roll
will
with
know.
the guy that
and
you
Todd
think is
Monken
better?
will know if he's still the same broken player he's been.
Yes.
And then that'll be that. And it won't even be a story.
And yes, but if you're Todd, we are looking at this as if you've got one shot at this.
Right.
And like, he's got a lot of money and a lot of years on that contract. And I don't think he's necessarily looking at this as I have to win right now or I'm going to get fired in a year. I think I think we have projected
Maybe.
that onto them.
Maybe.
Fair.
Or I think he's looking at this going, we got to build a team. And
Sure.
how do we go about doing that? And
Jeremiah Love.
if I'm with you.
Yeah.
Sonny
If
Styles.
if Shador if it is a lost cause with him this summer,
Yeah.
and Todd's like, I can't win with that.
Right.
Okay, fine. Then
Yeah.
play Deshaun for everybody else, for the other veterans in
Yeah.
the locker room. But if you see if it's close,
Yeah.
To
By
me,
the way,
and nobody's been more down.
Are you 100% certain they're not going to draft a quarterback at 24 or 37, whatever?
So that I'm glad you asked that, because that
Yeah.
led me to the Ty stuff, because I was kind of poking around at him, and was told basically, I think the league views him as, if you play him right away, you will ruin him. He has to sit at least 1 year, if not 2.
That's what Sean King told me too.
That's what
Yeah.
Sean said.
Basically, yeah.
So what I got was,
Yeah.
he has to sit at least a year, and there was some like, come on, he couldn't beat out Jalen Milroe, come on.
yeah, right.
And just some stuff about like, yeah, I just think that, so no, I don't think he's in play.
Yeah, okay.
Because why are you going to take a quarterback and sit him? And so that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I do think that there's probably a mid-round quarterback maybe in play for them. I don't think it's going to be
He
Todd,
makes a lot more sense for the Rams,
where you could sit.
where there's a veteran quarterback. Back
I think there's a lot to like about him, but
Yeah. Guys, by the way, I know, I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch the show yesterday. I do have a problem with Dylan Gabriel not being in the
Yeah,
building.
we did talk about it.
What was the consensus?
Zach said, if you're in the building right now, you can't do anything with the coaches. You're just working out there
Yeah.
in the facility. Jay and Dustin both said that they like the fact that Shador's there and Dylan's
Yeah.
not. If the roles were reversed, we'd be killing Shador for not being
100%.
there.
For
Shador
sure.
would be getting
yeah.
killed
Yes.
if he were not.
Yeah.
If we knew that, if Munkin said Dylan Gabriel's in the building every day,
And Shador's not.
we haven't seen Shador,
Yep.
he'd be getting killed.
yes.
So I'm not going to kill, and I wouldn't kill him
But-
personally, and I'm not going to kill Dylan Gabriel
Right.
either. But he should be there.
So-
he should be there.
So when Deshaun was Instagramming all over the world,
Yeah.
and people were killing him for that,
Yeah.
I defended him on that and was like, listen, this is their personal time.
Right.
And they have to pour so much time in during the season that their time is their time, and he can do what he wants. And
Yeah.
I wasn't a big Deshaun fan either, but like, you got to give these guys a chance to
Sure.
be humans and have
Yeah.
their time off. So I would rather Dylan be in there under the circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill him for
No,
not
not
being
kill
there.
him, but you-
Shador being there is huge.
Yeah.
Like that shows a commitment for
Yeah.
him when he doesn't. And I wouldn't kill him if he wasn't there, because again, it's a personal time.
Right.
You are entitled to, and for January, February, get away, man. Get away from football, go lay on a beach somewhere, recharge. Because once this thing starts rolling again,
Yeah.
then you're committed. So take your personal time and do what you want with it. But the fact that he's choosing his personal time to still be here says a lot.
Says a lot.
It's a level of commitment that Shador is showing that some people have claimed he hasn't in the past. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But there's been, there's always stuff out there
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah.
And some people have said, well, what's his commitment level? Well, you can't say anything right now.
He's choosing to spend his offseason
Yeah.
in Cleveland, in Berea,
Yeah.
Right.
when he doesn't have to.
Yep.
And I do think that actually does
Yeah.
speak to, I don't even want to say work ethic, because
Yeah.
I'm sure they're all working out in their own. I'm sure Dylan's working out somewhere, even if we don't see
Right.
the videos of it. But with a new coach, getting that face-to-face connection, even if you can't work out with them, just knowing, hey, when I'm doing my thing, coach is over there, he knows I'm here. I do think it builds a little bit of rapport.
Right. It gives you some FaceTime.
Yeah.
With the coach. I mean, you can't do official team stuff, as Zach said. Doesn't mean you can't chat with the coach.
But, I mean, he may not be officially taking attendance, but
Yeah.
clearly he's
Man,
taking
100%.
attendance. Todd's taking attendance.
The way he answered the question,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could tell
Yeah.
he was given.
He's like, no, I don't think I've seen him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Anything else from Arizona?
Oh, gosh. I mean, yeah, there's a ton, but
This
like,
stuff with the league refs, not good.
so that's interesting. How much time do we have?
Oh, you guys are good.
We got
You guys
time.
are about
Okay.
32.
So that's really interesting, because I was working on a piece sort of marrying what baseball is going through with ABS with what's coming in the NFL.
Love ABS.
Because I do believe,
Sky Judge, you mean?
I think that I've been told that the technology is already there with the NFL that like this is coming.
The obvious calls. That's what they need to fix.
I don't want
Yeah.
to get specific because
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics.
Well, that's what they said. In
But,
this thing.
like-
They're going to fix the obvious
but like
errors.
the way it was presented to me was we have technology now, and when you and I are standing here in this same spot a year from now, those advances are going to be even further down the road. And I don't want to start doing the league's bidding against the officials, but the point they were making was the refs better be very, very careful because they don't have very much leverage in this because of where this is all headed.
Right.
Now, there's an entirely different conversation. I was having a different conversation yesterday with somebody about, like, we cannot go to a place where it's just all automated all the time. Like,
Yeah,
you
no.
have to have, because you will have, like, fans will not trust, there'll be allegations of rigging.
Yep.
And like you still have to have the human element of
Right,
human
yes,
beings in
100%.
all sports, baseball, football.
Yeah.
So this is like a tangled, complicated conversation. But I was not aware, and I started asking around, and some people were like, "No, I hadn't heard that." But like, there's technology within the league office already.
Like, to make a holding call or
I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to get into specifics because I don't know the specifics.
yeah.
But again, yesterday I was having a different conversation about and said, and I actually brought that up of like, well, you would still need a human out there to call holding or illegal formation.
Yeah.
And the response was, no, you don't. Like, no. So I don't know where this is headed.
Huh.
But and it's not anything that's going to happen in the next year or two.
I don't ever want to see no officials.
It would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it would be weird.
That'd be really strange.
So I don't.
would
I
you have a
don't.
computer spot, like a
I still like-
robot spot the ball?
I still like seeing the chain gang. I know I'm old school, but I like seeing
I
the
hate
guys
that.
run out
I
the
hate
chain.
that.
and-
Ridiculous.
I know it's useless. I just
Yeah.
I like the visual aspect of there's
Yeah,
that much space.
We
before
have
fourth
come
down.
too far along to be having
Yeah,
old men
yeah.
with chain links
Yeah.
trying to spot and all that. I think they get the spots wrong quite often.
Yeah.
Like that should all be a little bit.
Yeah,
more
I don't know why
precise.
we're not like, especially on fourth, like these at the goal line where you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Or QB sneaks.
There
or
should
tush
be
push, yeah.
a sensor or something in the football.
I believe 5 to 10 years from now, we will be laughing with ABS. We'll be laughing at how we used to do it with umpires in these ridiculous strike zones.
Yeah.
And maybe in 10 years, we'll be laughing at how tush pushes were marked and
Right,
these
right.
scrums and how they marked the ball and how they just sort of guesstimated it.
I mean, the ABS so far has been a huge success.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love watching the game, knowing that if the umpire screws up the call, there's a
There's a
an
chance it
outlet
gets
to
corrected.
change
Yeah.
it. Mm-hmm. It will almost definitely get corrected.
So I don't know. Like, hit me with something else, and I'll tell you if I got anything on it. But because there is a lot. It was a lot of information.
What's the Myles Garrett buzz? That old hubbub down there about the Browns restructuring.
You know what? Honestly, I didn't ask.
Oh.
Bad job out of me.
Surprised.
Bad job out of me.
Thoughts on the overall?
I mean, you know, on the record is all the normal,
Yeah.
all the normal conversations and stuff like that.
Thoughts on the overall 2026 NFL draft?
Not good. It's just not a good draft, and that's why I'm not saying they can't trade down. I will be surprised unless it's like a Jeremiah Love falls or something like that, or there's a specific player that a specific team wants to come up and get. It doesn't. I did not get the sense that there's going to be a big market for them
Right.
to trade down, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted them to trade down, but it doesn't sound like there's going to be a big market for that.
And even if, but like, you know, we had been talking. Obviously, I had brought up the Bengals and Cowboys, but they're not going to get a first-round pick just dropping 4 or 6 spots.
No, not with what's coming next year.
Right.
Not with what's available this year.
Yeah.
I think they would have to go almost out of the first round entirely to get a first-round pick next year.
Right.
And that's just me sort of spitballing.
Right. Yeah.
But
Those 2027 firsts are gold right now.
yeah,
They're being treated like gold.
I got a little bit of pushback on that, but I
don't
think
know.
it was
Some
more.
teams have traded them. No.
Yeah,
Teams have traded.
yeah. I got a little bit of pushback on that. That no, you can still get them, but I don't know that short of trading Miles, I don't know what the Browns have on their roster right now that would.
Nothing. Who would
Warren
get
a
you
team.
a first-round pick next year? Nobody else.
I don't think so,
No.
and I don't think that there's anything in this draft where teams come up and get.